Well, that's an interesting light. Alright, it is now 4 o'clock in the morning and I am taking the sunrise watch. I'm starting to think that that amazing pasta dinner that we had earlier was a bad idea, because I don't feel seasick, but I certainly feel uncomfortable enough that I don't want to look at a screen for too long or watch a movie or do anything really. So I'm just sitting here on the hammock, just enjoying the night, watching the stars. It is a beautiful night, lots of stars out here, and we have a ship that is pretty much paralleling us. It's been paralleling us since Din was on watch, like about 6 hours ago, and it's moving at 7 knots, and we're moving at around 6.5, 7 knots, so we're pretty much just keeping each other company at this point.
Well, the sun just came up about an hour ago, which means I am back on watch. Kika took 2 a.m. to about 8 a.m. this morning, and yeah, now that the sun is up, I just woke up, and she's gonna spend a well-deserved rest sleeping down below. Got some coffee and some fruit to eat for breakfast, and we're surrounded by dolphins, which is pretty cool.
I live off love, I feed off love, I breathe off love. I think of love, I drink of love, I sink in love. And in the middle of the night I need my love.
So it's nice to be greeted in the morning by some dolphins. But yeah, last night we made some pretty good ground. We're only 90 miles from the northwest tip of Spain and about 190 miles from where we want to go. So we're about halfway there already, and we've only been sailing for a little under 24 hours. We can't do math, it's too early in the morning. So far it's been a really nice sail, and beam reaching about 8 to 12 knots of wind. And today should be more of the same. A little bit of sunshine, a little bit of cloud. And then once we turn the corner, it's going to start to get sunnier and warmer on like an hourly basis. So I'm excited for that.
I need to leave and need to need and be in love. My love is gonna come to me.
I like your fancy goggles.
Yeah, it definitely helps when you're sleeping in the day. I can't have my eyes open down below for too long.
You're not feeling so good still?
Oh, it's so bright.
Hi.
Hi.
I like your fancy goggles.
Thank you. Woo. A little bit less calm than yesterday, huh?
Beam on the seas now, man.
Yeah, I think that doesn't help. I wasn't feeling good all last night, but the fact that we're on the beam now and the sea's a little bit bumpier. Even down below, it wasn't so comfy.
I'm sorry.
I know, it sucks. I took a seasickness pill, and I did the whole like, oh, try to put a 1 year plug in 1 year kind of thing. It doesn't. Nothing worked. I still got sick after all.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I guess that pasta was a bad idea after all.
Did it taste as good coming up as it went going down?
No, it did not. Oh, yeah.
You awake now?
Yeah, I'm awake. the silly thing is that I should have known better. I know that the first 2 days of a long passage, I am prone to get seasick if I eat the wrong thing or drink before I go, or and I feel like part of me knew that I should have not eaten that pasta, and then the other side of me was like, no, it's gonna be great passage, I'll be fine. And then as soon as the sun came down and there was no moon, so I couldn't see the horizon, and I tried to watch a movie and I tried to play on the Switch, and then I was just like, nope, that's not happening.
Video games made you sick, is that what you're saying?
Well, the video game was the start of it, and then I stopped, and I tried to watch a movie, and then I stopped, and then I couldn't fix it because I couldn't see the horizon afterwards. Mm-hmm. And then that got me to donate to Neptune.
Well, I bet you enjoyed my pasta.
Yeah, I mean, it was really good pasta. So maybe it was worth it.
Gross.
Yeah, I know, gross. What's the sit rep?
Sit rep is our light wind sailing is over. We've got a first reef in the main, and I put the little cover on because we're like just ripping along at a beam reach. We're doing 7 to 7.5 knots, so we're like full power. We got regen going. We've gone up like 4.5 or 5% already in the last 2 hours, which is awesome. And we are 50 miles from making our turn sort of southerly around the northwest tip of Spain. So sometime in the middle of the night, we'll turn a little bit more downwind. Hopefully it gets a little bit more comfortable. I downloaded some more weather. Probably later on tonight we'll be close enough to shore to have cell phone signal so we can check again. But I downloaded weather, and it looks like offshore the wind around the tip there is like 25 gusts to 30, maybe 35. So we might not sail all the way down the coast. We might pull in somewhere near like A Coruña or something and just wait for a little bit less spicy weather since we have the choice. If we needed to sail in 30 knots, we would, but we have about 752 awesome anchorages to stop in, so we might do that instead. And then we'll be anchoring sometime this time tomorrow, about 24 hours, so that'd be nice.
We just hit a piece of wood. It's a giant 2x4. We actually, surprisingly, we passed quite a few of them last night and earlier today, and when they hit the hull, they just bounced on the hull and drift behind. But it's kind of crazy to think that they are some wood pieces just drifting back and forth in this bay along the coast of Spain. It's kind of funny because it's like we've passed chunks of wood before, but they were mostly branches or trunks of trees, but never actual 2x4 pieces.
It's 6:30 in the morning, which means we've got first light coming up behind me, so my watch is over. Now Kiko will be on watch for the next couple of hours while the sun comes up. We're passing A Coruña now, and we're going to keep pushing a little bit further south to a more remote anchorage, so we're not in the middle of a big city. But it's been a pretty chill sail, and excited to get some sleep. It's been a long night. It's been a lot of boat traffic and stuff to keep track of, but should be a good sail. We should be arriving sometime mid-afternoon. Got a little cold. We're running downwind now, and so it's 15 to 20 knots. I'm back in my super puff again. Sitting still at night. It's hard to stay warm, especially downwind when the wind's blowing on me. But yeah, now I get the worst part of my watch is going and having to wake up Kika. I feel bad. But the sun's about to rise, so it shouldn't be too bad. So keep an eye out. We might have to jibe like when we get there.
Yeah.
To come in. So, but I mean, you're fine for probably like at least 4 or 5 hours before I have to do anything. But there are some like weird little shallowy sections near shore and some little islands and stuff. So I have Navionics on the iPad, so you can switch back and forth and zoom in and make sure we're not doing anything stupid. I love you. Wait back. Try not to hit it.
I'll try my best. Hello everyone. We are making our way into the anchorage. We are about 20 minutes, I believe. We're about 40 minutes away from dropping our anchor, and look at this. We are not arriving at night.
I know, right?
Which I know, it's a first in a long time, but I think it's because we technically did not plan to stop here when we were just leaving our last port, which is probably why we're arriving during the day, because then we decided to stop here at the last minute. But it's going to be a beautiful anchorage, and overall this was a beautiful passage. Aside from the fact that I got seasick, but that's more about me than it is about the actual sail. Because the sail itself was pretty enjoyable.
That was my fault for making that delicious pasta.
I'll go ahead and blame Dan on this for cooking such delicious food that I just couldn't say no to. And then, yeah, 50% of the blame is to me for accepting to eat that food, thinking I would not get seasick the first day of a passage. I should really know better. But yeah, we are making our final turn, and we'll be dropping anchor in less than 30 minutes.
I like that we're now sailing south. We're not sailing west anymore. And for the next 100 or 150 miles on the last little bit of Spain, before we get to Portugal, there's sort of cool little cruising grounds. There's like awesome little bays and anchorages and little islands that we can tuck in and anchor at. So the next couple of weeks should be a lot of fun. It's finally sunny and warmer, so it should be enjoyable sailing for the next few weeks.
Cool. We're here. Check out our beautiful rolling maneuver. I don't know how to untwist it, but something happened to our head sail while we were trying to come in and roll it up. If for some reason it just couldn't roll in, and we were wondering what was wrong with it, and we think eventually it did, but we think there's something wrong with the swivel all the way on top of the forestay, which means before we sail again, we're gonna need to bring the head sail down, fix it. So probably one of us will have to go up the mast. No, we can fix it from down deck. Yes, thank you. That's good. And then pull it back up before we sail again. But it's a beautiful little anchorage. I think we're gonna be here for the next couple of days, just enjoying this beautiful view. You can see the bottom of the water here. It's so cool.
First time in forever.
Oh, first time in such a long time.
Well, before we pull the whole sail down in 30 knots of wind, it looks like this may have been part of the issue, if not the issue. we've got like part of the furling line popped out and we've got a loop in it somehow. So maybe it got caught on something and it wasn't letting us furl it in. So we're gonna clear this first and then next time we go sailing, see if it happens again. But the wind's blowing pretty strong today, so we don't really want to pull the sail down if we don't have to. And this looks like a pretty good mess to fix first. It was definitely a little screwed up, so maybe that's what it was. Maybe like that loop got caught on something behind here and it wasn't letting us furl it in. Because it seems to be fine now. I guess we'll just keep an eye on it next time we go out sailing. It should be like tomorrow probably. That's probably good.
I've been here before. This happy ever after, knocking on a door. No one ever answers.
All right, let's go to shore.
Windy.
Your smile carry in my mind's eye everywhere I go. Headlong into mystery, following my history.
Probably will.
My plan is I'm gonna leave the dinghy anchor on the beach, like this. Then I'll take the other end and tie it to a tree. So when the tide comes in, the dinghy will be like floating around its anchor.
It's like as soon as you get out of the wind, it's nice and warm.
So I brought some shoes, but I haven't been barefoot in like 3 years. So I use this opportunity to toughen up my feet again.
Yeah, because you didn't own shoes before.
No. Actually, these are some of the first shoes that I bought when we made it to Norfolk.
I feel like that's not a trail. I feel like it's a trail to nowhere.
Where the wild things wander, where the wild things wander.
How's it feel?
Oh, this feels so nice. Like, can you imagine the last time that it felt so nice to be at the beach was, what, 3 years ago?
Bahamas, I think.
Bahamas. When was Bahamas? 3 years ago. Oh, man. This feels so nice. Yes.
Tell me how you really feel to be back in the warm, sun-sandy beaches.
So good. I'm not gonna lay too far. The sun is warm, the air is warm, the sun is warm. Everything is warm. Yeah. Yeah, so we're just gonna hang out at the beach today. Maybe set up the hammocks, just chill. And enjoy the view. Our little baby girl is anchored right in front of us. Our little dinghy girl is anchored on the other side. And we're somewhere in the middle. So while we were in France, we received a new shipment from Alexis of our Norway-inspired swimwear lines from A2 Swimwear. And now that it's warm enough, we're going to do a little photo shoot today.